Today we are back with another amazing movie. Hello and welcome to Binge King. Before we start, go ahead and subscribe. Also, press the bell button to get the latest updates about new movies. Watch out for spoilers and take care. Without any further delay, let us start. In the South Pacific, it is the Victorian era. Richard and Emmeline Lestrange, two young cousins, are traveling to San Francisco with Richard's father, Arthur. Patty Button, the ship's cook, gets the children in a lifeboat and rows away from the disaster when the ship catches fire. They get separated from the children's father, who has escaped on a separate dinghy, and drift out to sea due to dense smoke, heavy fog, and general mayhem. They arrive on the shores of a lush, tropical island after a day or two at sea. Patty takes responsibility for the kids and teaches them how to find food and build shelter over an indefinite period of time, though he can't stop them from stripping down on their underwear and running around half naked. He comes across a blood-stained stone altar and the bones of what appears to be a human sacrifice one day. He tells the kids to stay away from that location because it is against the law and the boogeyman resides there. He also warns them not to eat a particular crimson fruit that Emmeline discovers, presumably to safeguard them from eating anything risky. He refers to them as the never-wake-up berries. Emmeline is haunted by the recollection of having the berries in her mouth for the rest of the movie. Emmeline associates the words with the berries and renames them the dead end berries, since Patty says that they will be dead and buried if they eat them. Patty comes across a barrel of rum or whiskey washed up on the beach from the sunken ship one day. That night, he and the kids enjoy a little fun dancing around the fire despite Patty's obvious inebriation. He takes the barrel and swims to a smaller, nearby island once the kids had fallen asleep. The kids get up in the morning and row out to where Patty is laying in the beach in the rowboat. They flip him over, thinking he's only asleep, only to discover that he has perished after a drunken binge. Emmeline passes out after a crab crawls out of his mouth. Richard returns to her island, where she begs him to take her away from this place that night in their hut. They pack their belongings and boat around to the other side of the island, where they will pitch up camp on a new stretch of beach. Richard and Emmeline grow into strong teenagers as they rely on each other and the wealth the island has to give, spending their days diving for pearls and fish, gathering food, or maintaining their treehouse. Richard and Emmeline begin to develop physically and emotionally in ways they cannot describe despite spending the majority of their time together. Children are often unaware of the changes they encounter as they grow up, which leads to dissatisfaction and uncertainty for the most part. Emmeline had her first menstrual cycle while swimming and, initially terrified, screams out to Richard. She yells at him, embarrassed, and orders him to go when he asks what is wrong. Richard begins to feel physically attracted to Emmeline, but she does not reciprocate his feelings despite her anxiety of being left alone, prompting Richard to go off alone and masturbate. Emmeline, ever curious, travels to the prohibited side of the island one day and discovers a Moai-like stone idol with a bloodstain. Instead, believing the location to be holy, she prays and later tells Richard that she believes Patty was mistaken and that the boogeyman, who bleeds like Jesus, is truly God. Richard, on the other hand, chastises her for breaking the rule. They talk about being rescued and going to San Francisco to see Richard's father, but Emmeline fails to ignite the signal fire they had set up as a ship passes by the island for the first time in years. Richard returns from foraging just in time to see the ship leave and confronts Emmeline violently. To Richard's surprise, she tells him that the island is now their home and that they should stay. They insult each other, and Emmeline says that she knows what happens when Richard walks off by himself, prompting Richard to throw a coconut at her. She returns the punch, hitting him square in the face. Emmeline rushes over to him, sorry, but he hits her and says she wishes she was dead and buried. He kicks her out of their house and throws her belongings on the beach, enraged. Emmeline walks on a stonefish after erecting a makeshift home near the water. Richard finds her in her hurt, deathly ill, and she begs him to take her to God against the rules. Richard does so, fearing for her life, and sets her on the stone altar, reciting what he recalls of his prayers. Emmeline finally heals and goes swimming with Richard in the lagoon after regaining her ability to walk. Following that, They sit naked together, share some fruit, and have their first kiss. They lay down with one another, expressing their love and discovering sexual intercourse and intense love. Putting their past disagreements aside, they spend the most of their walking hours together, either playing in the sea or making love. Emmeline, on the other hand, becomes pregnant very quickly. Though Emmeline's hunger needs the ability to feel the baby makes this evident to the spectator, she and Richard are unsure of her physical changes and have no experience with birthing, attributing it all to Emmeline simply getting heavier at first. Emmeline goes lost one night and Richard searches the bush for her. He arrives at the altar where God stood after hearing drums. He sees a primitive tribe make a human sacrifice there. Richard flees as the victim is slain and hears Emmeline's screams, arriving just in time to assist her in giving birth to a newborn boy named Paddy. The family is playing on the beach when a ship headed by Richard's father, Arthur, reaches the island. Richard and Emmeline walk away from the ship instead of signaling for assistance, pleased with their life. Because they are covered in mud, it is difficult to see who they are, so Arthur guesses they are not Richard and Emmeline. The family uses the lifeboat to return to their original home site one day. Richard goes banana hunting, leaving Emmeline and Paddy in charge of the boat. When Paddy carries a branch of scarlet berries onto the boat, Emmeline does not notice. Paddy tosses one of the oars out of the boat as Emmeline and Paddy slowly drift away. Emmeline, unable to reach the oar, calls out to Richard, who swims to her, followed by a shark. Emmeline tosses the other oar at the shark, striking it and allowing Richard to board the boat. The boat becomes entangled in the current and is swept out to sea. Richard and Emmeline wake up to see Paddy eating the berries he had harvested after wandering for days. Richard and Emmeline, despondent, eat the berries as well, lying down to die. Arthur's ship catches them a few hours later. "Are they dead?" Arthur inquires. The captain assures him, "No sir, they're asleep." The name of this amazing movie is The Blue Lagoon. That is all for today, folks. Tell us in the comment section what is your point of view about this amazing movie. See you soon with another amazing video.